I told her.
I know, but we thought about not going to, but the kids really wanted to go because Lexi's mom has kind of a little hobby farm there. Like they have goats and chickens and stuff. So they're like, they really want to go. And yeah, it was Rafi's birthday, but we didn't have anything planned for it. So we just went to Down Gardens for a little while.
Is Michelle or Jeff here? Nope, okay.
Now that Mary Poppins is over,
We are
free
on...
again? Is your life free? Are you doing that?
We're continuing our Love, Listen, Lead study. Last time we did another exercise where we talked with each other and we practiced active listening skills. So things like, well, we first started out with like stone face, and we felt like that was a little bit awkward when you just don't get any reaction from someone when you're talking to them, right? You don't get any sort of feedback like, am I reaching you? Are we on the same wavelength, right? It's just a blank stare. And then we tried reflecting emotion a little bit. And back channeling is what it calls. That demonstrates interest and empathy. Then finally we talked about paraphrasing content and reflecting feelings. And we ended up getting to asking an open question. Who of you were here to participate in that exercise? Yes, Kate. Yes, Danica, Mom. You did too, right? Happy? Okay. Fantastic. So we're starting at video segment 2 of lesson 3.
Are there extra sheets?
Yep. They're right here. Video segment 2 of lesson 3. Here's one for you. Okay.
I have a couple bags of tissues.
Here's one for you.
They're not here. Do you want us to move over so you can stand in? Oh, no,
Just sit right there.
I don't even know if I'm going to sit. I might just stand.
So Jacob here is going to play the role of a thoughtful person, which he is, of course, but also, again, of a rather serious skeptic of Christianity. Leah is in the role to try to bring all these listening skills together in this one conversation. So she's making a complete switch to listening mode. She will now and then perhaps paraphrase content. She will reflect the feelings that she sees in Jacob as he speaks. And she will try to ask an important open question to take the conversation to a really good place. That's the challenge that you have. As we simulate the kind of training you may do, I'll be playing the role of the observer, which can be very useful for this kind of training in active listening. I can help Leah if she gets stuck at a certain point and just doesn't know the next thing to say. I can jump in. And I can also offer some feedback for the things that I hear as this conversation unfolds. So go ahead.
So Jacob, last time we talked, there was something you said that I've still kind of been wondering about. The impression I got was that your big problem with Christianity is that you think there's just too much suffering in the world.
Yeah, I guess when you look around you and you see what's happening everywhere, I mean, how can you not be like touched or pulled by that in some way? And my question is just, where is God during all of that?
Right, and you can't deny that there is a lot of suffering in the world, but I guess what I'm wondering is, when you say that, are you looking at stuff that's happening like out in the world, or is there something that happened to you, or is that too personal?
No, I don't mind. Obviously, we can both agree that there's many, troubling things going on in the world around us, but yeah, it hits home for me too. When I was a little bit younger, when I was 16 actually, one of my best friends passed away. She was 16 and she really, really suffered, and I don't see the point of that.
Seems like you're still not over it.
No, not really.
I can't even imagine what it must be like to go through that. I'm so sorry that you had to.
Yeah, they say it's good to, talk about it though, process it.
I hope so. I hope it helps you to talk about it. I do have one more question though, and I promise you won't hurt my feelings however you respond. But it seemed like last time when we talked, it didn't really, like nothing I said really had an impact on you, and you were still pretty skeptical. But I was wondering if there's anything I said at all that kind of got you thinking, or if it clarified what Christians believe or not.
Well, one big thing I keep thinking about is, if I were to believe that it was God who died on that cross, I'd have to rethink everything. And then to think, like you mentioned, that part of me denying God is because of my pain, you know, for me, that just kind of made things worse.
So what you're saying is, if you thought that...
I think you might realize that you just interrupted him. Okay, because I think he had more to say. Is that true to say?
Yeah.
Okay. The really cool thing I saw was, once again, the reflection of feeling. Not everybody knows how to use that term, but it really served a purpose that I saw in the conversation. The other critique I have is, there was one point where you asked 2 questions in a row, and I think it made it difficult for Jacob to know what to respond to. And so that is how training and active listening can go, and how it can sound. And I'll just say again, it is artificial, we know that. But I've been doing this with students for probably a couple of decades now, and I just want to say that not a year goes by that some student won't say to me, in spite of how artificial it was, they'll say, I've never been listened to like that before in my life, you know, and they're learning something about what we call the true gift of giving somebody your full attention, the true gift of being understood and known, and we do this all for Jesus' sake. Now is your chance to give this a try. Please pause the video and turn to the instructions in your study guide.
Okay, so just like in our previous sessions, we are going to practice this exercise together. We're going to have 2 volunteers come up. One will be the skeptic, the other will be the active listener. So we're putting into practice, last time we just shared a personal story. That was either the first time we did this, we acted like a skeptic, right? And that was fun. And this time we're putting it all together and we're practicing active listening. Again, this is among brothers and sisters. So this is a good place to practice those skills of active listening, reflect feeling, get to a question like, have you thought about? But don't be too eager to share your message or to just get it through, right? This is more about listening. Okay, so each of us are going to go, and again, we're all going to be in this a little bit awkward stage together. It's going to be uncomfortable, a little bit manufactured, artificial, but it will be very valuable. So, who would like to start?
I would, but I don't know, like, I haven't been to the rest of the class, but I do.
Okay, Jess, come on up. And what role would you like, Jess? We're going to flip-flop after, so...
The Christian.
Okay, so the listener. All right. And who will
I'm
be the...
confused as to what we're doing.
Okay,
Are we
all
kind
right.
of like doing the same thing as what they were doing up there?
Yeah, yep, exactly. We just watched the first time. Pappy, would you be the skeptic first?
Sure.
Come on up. So we have one person, the speaker, who's the skeptic, one person who is the listener, and the third, the observer. I will assist Jess if she gets stuck, but you all are also observers. We're learning this together as a class. So, all right, the listener, so that's you, Jess, will begin the role play by saying, so you're not sure about Jesus. And I'll give you 4 minutes. I am going to be judicious, not because I want to cut you off, but because I want to make sure that everybody has enough time to go.
Okay. So you're not sure about Jesus. Why is that?
Well, I'll admit he's a historical figure. I mean, can't argue that, but also God, I mean, can we be realistic here? I mean, we're talking about a human being, and supposedly died at 33-ish, give or take. Nah, I'm not buying that part at all.
How do you believe the world came to be then?
Well, there's a lot of theories on that. There's the Big Bang, which I'm not 100% sure of because you have to account for what happened to get to the Big Bang. I don't know how the world came into being. I'm just glad it is because I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of nice to be here. But frankly, he didn't have anything to do with it. He was born on this world, so you know that doesn't really matter.
Well, if he was born, let's say if he was born of a virgin, and he was born of God, would that make him sinless? Can you agree with the idea? Would you like the idea of Jesus and someone that is full of love?
The idea of someone full of love is nice, yeah, but I mean, born of a virgin. I don't want to see that, but I mean,
No?
no, that's literally impossible.
Well, I would say that existence itself is impossible, and it's the greatest miracle that we're even here and our consciousness. And what would you say to why do we love? If you had to answer that question without God, who is love?
Why do we love? That's a good question.
Because
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure that you feel love just like everybody else. That's something undeniable that everyone has. And the only logical explanation that I can think of is that God is love, and we love because he first loved us. Without it, there's no spirit. Love is purely a spiritual thing. You can't measure it.
So are you saying then that this God who is love, because I love, this God is in me?
Yes.
Oh, so I'm God.
No. You would not be God because you are created by him. God is, the idea of God is the creator of everything. And since you are created and you are not begotten of the Father, you have parents, correct?
Pause. All right. Thank you. Like I said, I'm going to cut you off mid-sentence
no,
and
you're
give you
good.
dishes. All right. Give them a round of applause. Very well done. Well done.
Good job.
Well done. Observers. What did we observe?
Lots of great open-ended questions.
Lots of great questions. Yes. I noticed that you had a lot of questions that were forcing him to think about things, and I even saw him, furrow his brow a little bit. And
I was just gonna say that I honestly thought like if I saw that somewhere else, I believe that's a real interaction, and I saw you kind of like stutter a little bit. It was you had really good questions, and it got you thinking. I could physically see that.
Yeah. She threw me a couple curves.
Yeah.
That's what made it fun.
Fun. All right. So write that down, everybody. This exercise is fun. Very good. Pappy, how did you feel about that?
I mean, well, first of all, I thought she asked some great questions.
Yeah.
And she did throw me some curves. I also think, you're just talking about the interaction?
Yeah. How did you feel? Either on your end or from...
I felt very comfortable with the interaction. I didn't feel attacked. There was a couple times I thought she was going to start preaching at me.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the offering.
Yep.
But, other than that, I thought she did an excellent job.
Yeah, fantastic. So, yes, so this is about listening. So, be cautious of when you're getting to your message. Make sure that we really seek to understand, and then we'll reach the point of, have you thought about this? But very, very well done. Okay, switch roles. Go. Oh, you can sit in the
Yeah, I
same
don't
chair.
know why I felt the need to switch.
No, that's okay.
That's the skeptic chair. That's the skeptic chair. You gotta switch. All right,
It changes you, so be
forevermore,
careful.
that will be the skeptic chair. Or that will be the skeptic chair.
The chair.
All right, Pappy, you'll start the conversation with, so you're not sure about Jesus.
Okay, just a second. So, we're not sure about Jesus, that's what you said. Now, are we talking, well, let me ask this question so I can understand better. Why are you unsure about Jesus?
I would say that I'm unsure about Jesus because there are so many religions out there, and if one religion, like believing in crystals or something, could be just as real to someone who believes in Jesus, what makes him real and more real than somebody else's belief?
Okay, so you're identifying the realness of the person that believes it as what's real, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so does realness always depend on what the person believes to you?
I would say that there are some truths that I would believe in of what is right and what is wrong, like murdering is wrong. But I think there's a lot that people don't agree on and that can truly just, and there's so many differences within religions as well, about where we get our life from or where we get our fulfillment from.
So if there's all these different religions, and you're not sure about Jesus in the Christian religion, then how do you explain your belief in certain morality absolutes?
I would say that I think that people, as we became and expanded, just learned what was right and wrong, and I think that it was generational.
Okay, so
Pause. Ask her to tell you more.
I was getting ready to.
Okay. Just ask her to open up some more.
Tell me more.
Like, I think that people collectively decided to agree and realize what was right and what was wrong, and that suffering is wrong and doing good deeds for others should be right and should make us feel good.
So ultimately, based on...
Pause. What do you mean by?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, just ask her, what do you mean by
What do you
good?
mean by all that?
That morality is something learned, not in our hearts. I think that's why there are so many bad people in the world, is that something you have to learn.
So who taught the original morality? How do you explain that part? Help me.
I would say that it, I guess, was just more of the first people.
Okay, so the first people, make sure I understand, the first people created the morality that you have chosen to live by? Is that the best way to word it?
And pause again. I hate to cut you off because it was just getting really good.
Yeah.
Give them a hand. Thank you.
It's a tough question that has been responded to with. That's why I chose to go with it.
Gee,
Yeah.
thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Very good. You can return to your seats. Thank you again. So observers, what did we see in this interaction?
She's a hard nut to crack.
Yeah.
I want more time.
Did you find it easy to play the role of the skeptic?
I found it very, I don't know the word, but like, not open-minded, like kind of just set in my own, like idea.
Yeah. You were always just presenting messages and never actually wanting to get to where, he was coming from,
Yes.
right? But that's how a lot of our interactions go. That's what it means to listen. They might not be really interested in the things that you have to say, but that's okay. By talking with them, by truly listening and being that person that, again, lots of people just aren't heard or seen or known. And so just that distinguishes you from the other relationships that they have in the conversations.
I was trying to figure out where she was getting her morality, and that's what, at the very end, started coming out. Because when I asked her to explain a couple times, she kind of did the circle
Yeah.
that went
Yeah.
nowhere, but it sounded really good. And
Yeah,
so that's
again, this
why-
was a very realistic interaction. People's beliefs are very often just a kind of a hodgepodge of different things that they've heard. A lot of times they're superficial. In talking with them and asking them things like, where do you get that, or why do you believe that?
Yeah.
Gets them to think about it and like, okay, you know, that isn't really logical. So, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Fun
and
thought.
I just think, like, just thinking now, I think what might have, I think if someone were to ask me as a believer of that, where did the first people get that morality from? That probably would have stumped me in the role play as I'm thinking.
I
Yeah.
think that's where he was
Yeah.
headed.
Because you realize really that's not.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I
it's a
asked a
question
couple
that you-
times, closed in a question on purpose, because I wanted to nail her down on,
Yeah.
is this really what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
And then I could go from there, but
Yeah.
somebody didn't let me.
Yeah, she was a tough cookie and I was
Yeah.
a tough observer. Thank you for being so gracious. Who is next?
I'd like to see you and Greg go up.
Maybe we will if we need a pair. But who's next?
Oh.
All right, Mom, come
No,
on up.
I want to see you and Greg go.
You did fantastic last time.
Have fun, come on. Obey your pastor. Obey your pastor. Go.
And Kate, can I have you come up?
But I'm still practicing my active listening and all that. I'm not good
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
I do only closed
It's-
questions.
It's practice.
I only do yes or no.
It's just practice.
Plus I have a
I'll
bad
go if you
back.
hold my baby.
What?
I'll go if you hold the baby.
Okay, you'll be
Okay,
next.
I'll hold the baby.
No.
Parent with the baby.
Paired with the baby, Kate says.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, but if I'm paired with the baby,
I'll
Kate
hold the
says.
baby.
All
There you
right.
go.
All right, so you'll take the
Come on, baby.
Danica. She's already coming up?
Come on.
Oh, I thought you said I could come up.
I said next time. Okay, all right, you're up then.
But you were standing, you understood better than I did. It's okay, if she spits up, it should be
He's a
empty,
tough
so
one.
we'll get past it.
Well, everybody is gonna go, so whether it's
I'm
now or
sorry,
later,
I'm
it's
sorry
not
you
a
have to
big
be
deal.
with me.
I'm sorry, you.
She had me last time. I should feel sorry for her.
All right,
You had him last time?
so Mom, you'll be the active listener,
Yeah, with Frederick's last time.
and your conversation starts with, so you're not sure about Jesus, are you? Go.
So you're not sure about Jesus?
No.
You should be sure. I don't know why you're not.
Well, I'm not even sure he really lived, and if he did, I feel like maybe his life is more like a legend. Like, I don't know, say like maybe there was a real Paul Bunyan, but they added, they made him into this. I don't know. There's all these stories about him that can't be true. And like with Jesus, I mean, I think Christians, if they believe that his own father would offer him to die, I mean, what parent's going to do that?
So where did you get that information?
Well, I grew up in a Christian home, so.
And that's what they told. That's what they taught you.
Well, I mean, well, it wasn't. Well, do Christians believe that God offered his son to die?
That God so loved the world that his only son died for you, but rose again. He's not dead now. He lives and is coming back for you. And those who believe will live forever. He's not a legend like Paul Bunyan. if that's what your parents taught you,
No,
that may not be
they didn't.
true Christianity. Did you go to church when you were growing up?
Well, not regularly. You know, maybe once every couple months or something. And then I guess as I got older, it got even farther apart.
Sure.
Then maybe just Christmas and Easter.
Sure.
And now not at all anymore.
So you know about Easter.
Well, yeah, but I mean, people don't just come alive again after they're dead.
So that's not what you believe.
No, not now.
What do you know about Easter?
Well, it's supposed to be when Jesus was dead and came back to life, but that just doesn't happen.
And then what after he came to life?
Well, I don't know.
Because he doesn't have an ox, he lives in us. For those who believe, he lives in us. And
Pause. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you mid-sentence. Great job. It seems to me like they were very comfortable talking to one another. Saw some great open questions from you, Mom. And
I love the Paul Bunyan thing.
you were
Jesus was a legend like Paul Bunyan.
Representation of
Good one.
again,
Like
polite conversation, but one in which somebody just has a totally different worldview than you, right? So that's what we're recreating here. Other thoughts from the class?
I liked how you explained how Jesus died for you and you made it personal, because Jesus did die for everybody, and sometimes people, I feel like, need to hear that so they can't just brush them off like, oh yeah, that belongs to that religion.
Faith comes by hearing the message. Fantastic. Okay, switch chairs.
Okay, here we go.
So Kate, you will be the active listener here, and Mom, you will be the skeptic. Kate, your conversation will start, so you're not sure about Jesus. Go.
So you're not sure about Jesus, Darlene?
Well, some parts I've heard of him. I mean, I know that he was a Jewish teacher
Uh-huh.
and a prophet, but that's about it.
Okay. So, tell me, is there anything else you know about Jesus?
No.
No. Okay. Have you ever thought about looking into the Bible to find out more about Jesus?
No.
Uh-huh.
Well,
If I were to
Oh, go ahead.
ask you what you think the main message of the Bible is, what would you say?
Well, I think there's some good stories in the Bible. Like there's a guy who built a boat. And that's about it.
Okay, so when you say stories, do you mean, what do you mean by stories? Are they, like, do you believe they're true or not?
Well, I think some people who go to church, they read these stories that are written by people and they like to live their life by them, but that's not for me.
Why don't you think that's for you?
Well, I like nature, calmness, meditation. I get one-on-one quiet and goodness from just being outside. I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty good person.
Well, do you think, yeah, I like nature too, and do you think that since you like nature,
like, have you ever thought about where this beautiful world, all the beautiful plants and wonderful animals came from?
They just appeared, and they evolved over time, billions of years after the dinosaurs.
Have you ever thought about, well, do we see that kind of thing happening today where, say, lizards' scales start turning into feathers? Do we see animals change like that today?
And pause. I'm going to cut you off mid-sentence, mid-conversation there. But she got to the have you thought about portion where she started presenting her message. Other observations. I noticed that you did a lot of good reflecting feeling and showed empathic listening skills, so very well done. You were a very gracious skeptic. You weren't argumentative. You were...
I'm not going to be mean to her. She has her beliefs, I have my beliefs. I'm going to go out in nature and just, like nature. I'm not going to get dressed up on Sunday and go to church.
What did you find, Seth?
I liked that you didn't respond with something that felt like, why do you think this? Or less of like pointing at them and saying, why do you think this? And more of, look at it this way, or like what makes you not think of it this way? And less of like a direct attack, and more of like just like digging deeper into the question to know more. And like you said, listening. Like I thought that was really a good conversation that was healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to avoid anything that remotely resembles an attack. We're not
Have
here
you
to
ever
attack.
read the Bible?
We're not here to attack people, we're here to listen. Okay?
Is that bad?
All right, give them a round of applause for everything you seats.
That's what I'm going. That's what, if I was answering like that.
All right, Seth, and
Have you ever read the Bible?
you ready? Okay.
So,
Do you want to take Eleanor, or
Yeah, I'll take her.
which side did you want to be? All right.
She left a little dress.
Don't be nice. She won't be nice to you. Don't be nice.
Be nice, everyone. Okay. Danica, you are the listener, and Seth, you are the skeptic. We're going to practice active listening skills, and if you're able to, by the end of 3 minutes, get to a have you thought about this, and then present your message. Your conversation starts with, so you're not sure about Jesus. Go.
So you're not sure about Jesus?
Well, I grew up in a Christian household that wasn't too based around Christianity. It was lightly pushed on me, and I agree with the idea of love and all of how you should treat your neighbor, but I don't see that in today's world, and I don't see the physical part of how it came to be, and I just don't see the exact example of that in today's world, so it's hard for me to believe that.
Yeah, I can tell that it's kind of weighs on your heart a little bit thinking about your childhood. And yeah, have you found that love other places?
I find it through some of the things I enjoy doing and through close friends to me, but I don't see how Jesus can take part in that.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about it. What are the things that you do that you feel like this is what true love is, or this is how I feel life should be? What kind of experiences?
I don't know, just doing things I enjoy doing. I have good friends who care about me, and we have good times. I just enjoy what I do.
Yeah, that's great. God gives us a lot of things to enjoy. I'm curious, you said that you grew up in a Christian house, but it wasn't really followed a ton, or it was kind of pushed on you. Did you read your Bible much growing up?
Not much, no.
No?
I didn't have a Bible.
You didn't have a Bible, okay. Are you at all curious, just to know, is what was practiced in your house really what the Bible said?
Not really.
No? Okay. Well, part of the reason that I came to Christianity was because of the question of how did we come to be? Have you thought of that question?
No, not really. I kind of just, I don't think about less of how, or why, just I'm here and I enjoy being here.
Does that give you peace?
I no. Unanswered questions.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like maybe you've been kind of hurt or at least unamused by the idea of Christianity, so you're just kind of doing your own thing.
Yeah, I just don't have a lot of that in my life, and it doesn't really have an effect on me.
Yeah. It makes me kind of sad to hear that you grew up in a Christian house where you're not reading the Bible, because then I guess it just makes me wonder, was it really a Christian household, or was it just legalism that was being pushed on you?
Mm-hmm.
I would really love to read the Bible with you. Would you be interested in maybe reading through a book of the Bible together, where I could show you where I feel Christianity really shows true love?
I think that'd be good. I need to. I don't know anything about it, and I guess I've never been interested in figuring that out or asking questions about it.
Pause. Well done. Good job.
I know it is. You did a really good job.
It's hard to just give it.
Observation.
Yeah, right, when you're like,
Yeah.
you don't have to convince me. Oh, I don't know why I felt so directly with that. I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked the invitation to read with them, and I liked the importance of the Bible without saying like, oh, you should just read the Bible. Like, it's got everything, and like relating it to, well, okay, you say like it's a Christian household, but like, did it hold biblical truth? Is that like, because people's view of Christianity can be very corrupted and warped.
Yeah, one of the things that's always helpful is if somebody says, I don't believe in Jesus because of X, Y, or Z, just ask them to tell you about what they think Jesus stood for, because oftentimes there's misunderstandings, mischaracterizations, and you probably don't believe in that Jesus either. Go ahead.
Well, I've had some friends who have kind of been in a similar situation to that. So I tried to just like really put myself and just kind of like in that, which is kind of hard to do, but to just like push aside everything that I've grown up with. And it was really hard to not just say, oh yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah. I don't know if that's just partly just me, because I do enjoy doing that, but like it was very comfortable. Like it almost felt like me asking a friend to hang out. Like I feel like that's kind of how you approached me, and it felt so comfortable. And I don't know, you revealed like a lot of things in that position that would be like a lot of things I wouldn't have even thought about. So it's just like that 4-minute conversation can change so much just going home to think about.
All right, switch chairs.
Wait, I wanted to say something.
Go for it.
I just wanted to say, I thought the character that you were portraying of like, yeah, I just don't really, I'm all for love, and I'm not saying it right, but I think I've talked to a lot of people who are that character as well.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes you go into a conversation thinking that people are going to have 17 reasons why they think the Bible is false, but more often it's just, I'm just not really interested.
Yeah.
I've never really thought of it. Like that is kind of the majority of the responses that you'll get. So focusing on the relationship and reading the Bible together would probably do more than the pushing the argument of this is why Jesus is real and this is why, I don't know.
Okay, switch chairs.
Can I say one thing?
I'm going to keep going just for the sake of time.
Hard part is you gotta follow through.
You'll be the next
You
one.
do, then you have
The
to
first one
actually meet
respond
with them
when we
to
make observations.
do the
Okay,
Bible.
Seth, you're in the active listening spot. So again, you're just hearing her out, asking thoughtful, probing questions, reflecting, feeling, and if you get to it, find a point where you can share your message. Have you thought about? Danica, you'll be the skeptic. So Seth, you can start with, so you're not sure about Jesus.
So you're not sure about Jesus?
Yeah, I have friends who believe in Jesus, and I just don't really see how it impacts their lives. I don't really see how it is positive. It just feels like they go to church on Sunday, but other than that, they're like all my other friends. So why would I waste my Sunday morning when I could sleep in or something, or even volunteer? Like, what is the church really doing if it all amounts to the same thing in the end?
Have you ever talked about that and what they believe in with those friends?
No, actually. No, but should I have to? Like, they should just be different, shouldn't they? Like, if Christianity is really true, they should look different. They should act different. They should, I don't know.
Do you think you can point out a difference that you see with that?
I don't know. Sometimes they say, like, bless you. Like, I don't know. I guess we've never really talked about it.
Have you thought about bringing it up with them?
I'm kind of worried it's going to make me uncomfortable. And they're going to make me feel like I'm lesser of a person because I even have questions. Like, why can't I even have a question? It just seems like they're not even really comfortable talking with it about it.
Is it more of something that you're worried to talk about them with it and how they're going to react, or how you're going to react with it?
Well, I mean, I kind of go along with stuff that they say sometimes because I don't want conflict over it. Like, is it worth losing a friend that I really love if I admit to them that I don't actually believe everything that they believe? And it's just kind of easier to be like, yeah, Jesus, cool.
Well, you had said
Bless
that.
you too.
You had said that they were Christian, and with me being Christian and knowing how I would react in that situation, I think you should bring it up with them, because I think they would definitely have a reaction of wanting to help you and inviting you to their church to share that message with you.
Yeah, I could do that. I don't know if I'm ready to do that. This is really hard.
Good.
It's like been 3 minutes yet.
Say,
You're doing a really
why
good
do you
job.
feel that that would be valuable?
Why do you feel that that would be valuable?
No. You yourself. Share with her
Wait.
why you feel it would be valuable
I'm lost.
to go to church.
Oh, well, I think for you to go to church, I think you would, like you had said, you'd better understand what, you had said that you know they go to church, but you're not sure what they do or what else they're doing. That's different. I think going to church would explain that, and to even just ask them. And yeah, going to church would show how that is different and what they're actually doing.
Pause. Okay, fantastic. Give them a round of applause.
That was really good.
Observations, Pappy.
Well, I was going to say on the previous one, Danica to me got real close to a iffy subject when she said something about his family and made an assumption about his family.
Okay.
And I was waiting for him to come back out. That was what I was going to say. But
Thank you.
I liked this one. He was still, you could tell he was nervous. I guess we should have had a camera on him to make it worse. But, well, overall, I thought he handled the statements really
I couldn't
well.
tell. Were you nervous?
Very. Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
I'm not like in these situations at all.
Okay.
Ever, so
Yeah, I couldn't tell. And in fact, you were very empathic. I could tell that you were even paraphrasing the things that she had said. And then with a little bit of guidance, you even got to expressing your own feelings and why in this relationship it would be valuable to you to see them pursue understanding Christianity a little bit better rather than just dismissing it offhand. So, very good.
I liked it. It made me think, like Danica's perspective, it made me think of like the idea of don't let, like, in the end, humans are always going to make mistakes, and while even Christians shouldn't be somebody's reflection of who Jesus is, because he's the only person that isn't perfect. And I like how Seth, just in case it was like a quick conversation, encouraged Danica to like ask the people that are in her daily life, but also it made me think of the importance of having some questions and answers of my own, because some people that call themselves Christian, like she said, their friends don't really live as Christians, and so they might not have the answers either. So it's important to gain knowledge so that we can answer those questions with that person directly.
Yeah, you bet. All right, thank you. You can return to your seats.
It's hard to come up with the second time.
It is, and I kind of did it differently this time, where I more relational aspect, and it's actually easier to combat that because
Yeah.
it's like, well, I
I would
like
like
my
to do
friends, and so you're like, well, then go ask your friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I say no to that?
Hey, Becky. And Sue? Just kind of talking with Becky a little bit? Okay. Sharon? Becky, you come up, and Greg.
Okay.
Which would you like to start with?
Okay, well, I'll be the skeptic.
Okay, then you'll take these. Okay, Greg, you'll be the listener. So you'll practice back channeling, paraphrasing content, and if you can, reach a point to present your message. Have you thought about this? Your conversation will start, so you're not sure about Jesus. And go.
So you're not sure about Jesus?
No, I'm not. I have neighbors that go to church regularly, and I see them coming back from church, and I think, well, how can they worship somebody? You can't see Jesus. I mean, how can they pray to somebody they can't see, or believe in somebody they can't see? I just can't understand it.
Do you, you're unsure about Jesus. Do you have any feelings regarding God, when we just talk about God?
Well, we can't see God either. I just don't understand how you can spend so much of your time and like worshiping and thinking about God when you can't see Him, or we don't even know anything about Him.
Well, that's a understandable point of view, but there are a lot of things that we can't see that are very real. We can't see the wind, but we know that that's there. We can't see the waves that bring television into our homes or that turn on our lights, but that's all very real too. And of course, God is a spirit, so we can't really see Him, but we know He's there. Have you had any experience with the Bible? Have you read the Bible?
No, I haven't really had that much experience with it. I don't really know what it's all about.
Yeah. God, in ancient times, God revealed Himself directly to the people, but in this modern age, He's no longer doing that, but He left us His Word, and it's in that Word where we can find answers to a lot of our questions regarding the nature of God, the nature of Jesus, and those types of things. Would you be interested in going through a Bible study?
Yeah, I think that might be helpful. I mean, I've never heard it explained like that. I mean, like the wind, I know there's wind, but you can't see wind. I've never heard that explanation before.
Well, I'd certainly be glad to sit down with you sometime and we could start going through some of the passages that might help you arrive at some answers and give you a more focused approach to religion.
Well done, well done. All right, good job. Observations. Yeah.
I know I'm kind of like talking on everyone. I liked, or like, something I'm noticing just kind of with all of them, and I'm not saying that Greg should just do that on the next one, but I'm interested on like if everyone so far has said like, no, I haven't read the Bible, and it'd be like a tougher case to like crack if someone, maybe, if someone actually has read the Bible, but that is like a different perspective that like I just wanted to like say to you, or like someone that I'm curious about, like where it would go from there as someone who has read the Bible and just doesn't believe it.
Other observations? Seth?
I like how you have fitted to her beliefs instead of, I feel like in other conversations we've seen a lot of like relationship complications, but you went more of a physical, because you had said, I don't believe it, I don't know how to understand that, and you had related it to a real life thing that would make sense to her, which I thought was really cool, because it helped her better understand that, I think.
Yes, I really liked like the wind and the stuff. That was a good example.
Yeah. So fantastic job. Okay, switch.
Oh.
All right, Becky, you're in the listening position, and so your conversation will start. So you don't believe about, or so you're not sure about Jesus, and go.
All right, so you're not sure about Jesus?
No, not really. I think religion in general, just, it's very hard for me to accept that, first of all, it's hard for me to accept that I'm such a bad person that I would need a savior. You know, I haven't killed anybody, I haven't robbed any banks, I watch my language, I don't gossip. There's, you know, society has morality, but really is, I think morality is determined by the society that we live in. And it looks like that's what a lot of people are doing, and you know, I don't see the need for religion.
So whose morality do you think that we should follow then? I mean,
Well, you know, admittedly in this country our morality is based on the Ten Commandments. You know, some of the states are required that they're posted in every classroom and in the courthouses, and that's part of the Jewish religion where those commandments came from. But there's other societies that have had other codes that people have lived by, and it's really the society, I think, that determines what's moral and what's not.
and so how do you think our society is, like, that they're just doing whatever they want? Are you comfortable with how our society is now, based on that?
Well, not really. No, I think we certainly couldn't be a whole lot better than we are now. You know, we don't, as a society, we're very intolerant. We just don't have the appreciation and love, you could say, for one another that I think we should.
So what do you think would be a solution for that?
And
Saved
pause.
by the bell.
I wanted to hear your solution.
Yeah, great question.
Very good.
That was a good question.
Yes,
That's a
and
good
an
question.
open question. So again, you're hearing these open questions that begin with what or how, tell me about, or something of the like. So very, very well done. Good job. Observations. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, very good. Okay, one more round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay, back there, having the conversation. Michelle, would you like to participate?
Please do.
It'd be fantastic if you could.
No, it would be fantastic, but I don't think I could do the other part.
You could do it.
You could do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you gotta do both. We'll switch, but you can choose which part you start with.
It's always scary.
I really don't want to do it.
Yep, come on up.
You could do it.
So you want to be skeptic?
For sure.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure what you're all like.
We'll start.
Seen this on either.
We'll start with that,
The
and
video,
then
right? There's a video.
yes.
Oh, you don't
Yes.
have to watch the
2
video.
sessions ago, we worked on just active listening skills like reflecting, feeling, nodding, showing assent and empathy, paraphrasing things that somebody had said, like just really showing them that you're actually like hearing them and trying to understand where they're coming from. Then we also practiced like taking the position of a skeptic, or like the church is full of hypocrites, or the Bible is a myth, and putting ourselves in those people's shoes to really get an understanding of an experience with conversations like that. So today we're putting it all together, and you're taking the position of a skeptic, and it doesn't have to be any sort of topic, you're just not sure about Jesus. I'm going to practice active listening and trying to make sure that I'm really hearing you, and then if I can, get to a point of either an invitation or a opportunity to present my message. Any questions? Okay. So, Michelle, you're not sure about Jesus.
No, I'm not. Not really interested about Jesus. Why do you ask?
Well, I am a Christian, personally, but I'm curious, what's your church background?
Just my family went to church just because they went to church because they were told to go to church.
And tell me about how that made you feel growing up in that sort of environment.
No, you just did what you were told.
Sure.
So, didn't think about it, and now that I don't have anybody telling me what to do, so I just don't bother.
Sure. Where'd you grow up?
In a little town in Michigan. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What was it like?
I remember a lot of family around, and a lot of times having a lot of family gatherings, that was really important. And some family went to church and other ones did not, so it was kind of divided.
Sure. Did you ever have conversations about Jesus with your family members, or was it just kind of in the water?
No, we didn't really talk about it, you just went to church.
Sure. So what's your take on what Christianity is all about?
Having to do stuff, just show up.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
Because my parents told me I had to be somewhere, so you just went.
So your parents told you you had to be somewhere, and you just went. So the impression you got of Christianity was that you just do what you're told, and that's kind of the core essence?
Yes.
Okay.
Even in high school, when you talked about religion or Jesus, that you were just being told what to think or what to believe about it.
Okay. Have you ever read in the Bible for yourself to see if that's what actually Christian Christianity and the Bible teaches?
No, that's only for important people to read. They read it for you.
What do you mean by important people?
Oh, like the priests and the pastors and the sisters.
What would you say if I told you that God thinks you're a very important person?
I'm not sure about that. Why would he think I'm important?
Well, the Bible teaches that he created you and that he loves you so much.
If I do all the things that he wants me to do.
No, not if you do all the things. In fact, the Bible teaches that God loves you and the world, everybody in the world, so much that he sent his only son to die for the things that we have done wrong. What do you think about, like, what are the things that make a person good? Like, you mentioned, like, doing things, right, and doing good things. Where do you get that sort of sense of morality? What is good to you?
Oh, well, doing work, being kind to people, even though you don't really want to, or having to be friends with people that you don't like, or
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we can relate, right? When somebody's nice to us, it feels pretty good, even if we're not being nice to them. And that's exactly how the core message of Christianity comes to clarify itself, is that God has been kind to us, he loves us, and he wants a relationship with you today. Michelle, I'm going to pause it there. I didn't even set a timer, I'm sorry. So I get to choose. Did I go long? I think we went long. Observations. You did a fantastic job as a skeptic. Thank you. Yeah.
I really liked the part, it was, just somewhere in the middle of, it sounded like the role that you took on, like, didn't really ever have, or I don't know if they tried to have a personal relationship with God. It was very impersonal, like, not personal. And so inviting that of, like, you can have a personal relationship with God, and when you pray, it goes somewhere. Like, it means Jesus, and, like, if you were to read the Bible, you could have that, and not just the priest.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, give her a hand, and you can return to your seat. Unless you're okay with switching.
No, I really.
Okay.
I have one more story for you. When I graduated from the seminary, I was called to be an exploratory missionary and start a church from scratch. Now, I'm very introverted, and this was absolutely overwhelming to me. I mean, I was really shaken. Well, that evening I went to a dinner party of a large group of men who had also received their first calls as pastors that day. When I walked in, I saw 4 of my brother pastors circled around a woman named Michelle, who I knew to be a professing atheist. They were peppering her with arguments, coming at her from all sides. I certainly wasn't needed. But later in the evening, she was sitting by herself on the couch. And so I sat down and told her I had overheard that conversation. I said, "You probably didn't get to say what you wanted to say, did you?" And she said, "Are you kidding?" And she laughed. "Tell me," I said. And she poured out her soul's complaint, the terrible things she's seen, the terrible things she's been through. I just let her talk and get it all out. As much as anything, it was for a lack of knowing what exactly to say. Then there was this long pause. And keep in mind, I had never had this conversation before. All I could say was, "That must be so difficult." She gave me the most appreciative look, so I continued. "I mean, just so difficult it must be to live in a world that is everything you say it is and have no God besides." I said, "Can I show you a side of God you haven't seen before?" And I talked about God the Son on his cross, taking all the shame and agony of the world for us all and for her. Incredibly enough, she said, I can understand that. She said, that makes sense to me. I think of that and I think, thank you, God, you did that just for me. Of all the days for me to get to have that conversation. One that told me there is a way to witness to Jesus that is a fit even for someone like me. And that way began with listening. I cast Michelle as my teacher. Teach me what you've seen, how you've come to think and believe as you do. I began by being open, not to the things she believes that are wrong, but being open to another human being who has lived a story I have not lived. And it ends with this. Now may I tell you something you may not know? You portray Christ on his cross, and you bring the word of God, the one that says, take this. This is for you.
Well, how did it go? I hope practicing active listening was helpful to you. It gets easier and easier the more you do it. Soon, you'll be a pro. And you will be better equipped to lead souls to their Savior. And leading souls to the gospel is what our next 2 lessons will help us do. As we love the people God has brought into our lives and listen carefully to their cares and concerns, we want to be looking for opportunities to lead them to the gospel. We'll learn more about how to do this next time. See you then.
I just wanted to ask, when you're playing the role of the skeptic, how many of you are channeling conversations or experiences that you had had in the past? Doing this together enables us all to learn together, to grow, because we all have those conversations, right? And so to practice those active listening skills, to really show you don't have to have all the answers, but just listening, it gains an audience and is so impactful. So, any final thoughts or questions or anything at all you want to say? Yes, Jess.
I would just say that, like, and not like you, of course, always get your
Message.
things from outside sources, but this reminded me a lot of someone that like I listen to and come across sometimes on the internet, and his name is Chris Knetchel, I think. Cliff Knetchel. And it's interesting to see because I would say that he's very like biblically sourced, and what he did for his whole life, I think he's still alive, was he'd go to like college campuses and just anyone that would come by, and he'd always have these circles of crowds of atheists, Islam, like all of these people, and he would just talk to them, and he makes a lot of good points for believing what you believe if you haven't found like your why yet, I guess. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, this is how it starts. You know, no one comes out of the womb a great listener. It takes practice. It takes active listening. It takes intentionality. So be intentional this week about listening to someone and sharing the message of grace. Let's pray. Lord God, send your Holy Spirit to help us be people who love those who do not love you, who share grace to those who do not deserve it, and to bring a message of peace to a troubled and stormy world. Because you have shown us grace, mercy, and truth and peace, we ask that you would help us to show that to others this week. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week, same time.